Hello, 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 everybody. My name is Sonia Pelton-Sam, also known as what? The GLAM Coach. I am excited to be here with you today for a training that I promised you. 8 types of logos. Did you know there were 8 types of logos? Do you know how they're used? That's what we're going to learn today. So a logo is an image that symbolizes your business. So most of us know that, but we're going to go deeper. And did you know that there were 8 types of logos anyway? Right? So there are monogram logos, which are kind of like letter marks, which we will see. We have word mark logos that are kind of similar to a letter mark, but it's a word mark or a logo, and it's kind of a font-based logo that focuses on a business's name alone. So you will remember when we go through the different type of logos on the screen, you will actually see and be like, oh, that's what that is. We have the pictorial marks and the brand marks or the logo symbols. We have abstract logos. We have mascot logos, combination marks. And then we have the emblem and watermark logos. So we're getting ready to go through the training right now. So with the 8 types of logos, here we go. Letter marks, pictorial marks. We have abstracts, which we see, which would be like a Pepsi. We really don't see any wording, anything in there. It's kind of whimsical design, abstract. We kind of see that mascot, right? When we see Kentucky Fried Chicken, we see the little colonel. We know it's a mascot. We have the combination logo. We have kind of like an abstract thing going on with wording in it. Then we have our emblem, which we see at a lot of universities and things like that. NASA has a letter mark logo, just a lot of letters put together for a letter mark. Apple has that nice pictorial mark. We know when we see the Apple pop up, hey, that's what it is. They don't have to say Apple or anything like that. They've built a brand consistently on that Apple symbol. And then we have Google, which is a word mark logo, right? So here we go. Monogram logos. Monogram logos are kind of like letter marks, right? Think of abbreviation. Letter marks or monogram logos, typography based logos that are abbreviated. They have initials of a company. They kind of spruce up the design a bit and then boom. Like right, we have no fuss, no frill logos. The advantages of these are they are more likely to have the world just love the abbreviation of the logos, right? Technological errors, like thank you, like BMW, right? Acronyms. They're throwing themselves all over the modern era. Everywhere we see lettermark logos, when we take our field trip, we're going to see a whole lot of them, right? And so I'm going to send you all this so you can go through it really, really thoroughly. But think of HBO, think of IBM when you think of these, think of BMW when you see these kind of monogram logos, letter marks, right? And what to consider, like if you want one of these, they are they are simple, simplicity of the logo, right? It's just kind of like the words alone, kind of like the little acronyms, the words alone, they just stand by themselves. IBM, HBO, right? Easy to remember. When you see these, you think of like, oh, okay, it's very easy to remember. I'm trying to think of like, um, if I was going to get a name, right? We're going a little bit off, but let's say a domain name, right? And you would say, if I have to say the domain name is soniapeltonsam.com. My name is spelled funny. You have to remember the J and the I in there. If not, you're going to get it wrong. So you have all these things to remember. If I just said SPS.com, it would be real simple, right? You just remember the SPS, the SPS. Sonia is the SPS. So kind of think of it like that. It's simple, kind of almost like an abbreviation. It's there in your face, but it's easy to remember. So that's one of the main things I think when it comes to that logo that I would really hone in on if you're thinking about using one of those, right? Easy to remember. The next thing, the word marks. Things like Coca-Cola and Google. Very, very simple, but it is similar to your letter mark, right? A word mark is similar to your letter mark because it is a logo type, right? But it is a font-based logo still. So it still has fonts in it, but it focuses on the business name. So not necessarily the acronyms, but it goes in and it focuses on the business name itself. So if you want to keep your name in front of people's mouth, like all the time they see your name, right? Like me, the glam coach, right? It's right there in the logo. So if sometimes you'll just see glam. So I kind of talk to you about that. So I do have two things going on. I have one that's like the glam coach, more words, and then glam. So you can your business can have two or three logos, very similar. They go together. So sometimes you might want to just, hey, have them spelled out, and sometimes you might want to say, hey, I want kind of an abstract symbol, kind of like the apple or target. But we'll get into that later on in this training. But Google has done it well. Coca-Cola has done it well. We don't have to. They didn't put CC on there. Google didn't put GG on there. They put the name Google. Coca-Cola put the name Coca-Cola, and it's kind of catchy, right? So you kind of combining your typography. Some of them are using kind of graphics or colors in the wording. You can use different fonts to bring your wording alive. Some people might want to see a larger K on something, and then you have the smaller words. So kind of think about the play around of these logos if that's one of the logos you want to choose for your business, right? And I do think it helps grow. It helps grow a strong brand name recognition. So if I just threw out your orange out there, like let's say an orange or something like that, what does the orange stand for? We have to really think about that, right? But if you gave us your business name, then at least we have your business name in our mouth. So you have to work a lot harder on some of those symbols, unless you have a real good one. But you have to really explain it. But with the word logos, it's kind of like, hey, your name is already in a person's mouth, right? Watermark logos. Watermark logos are very similar to what we talked about before, the other two logos, but they have like a stained, most of them have like a stained watermark in the background, right? So I guess the advantage of this is no one has to guess, right? They see your word mark up front, it's clear. This logo, it automatically represents your name, what you stand for, especially people like that have, I would say, businesses with like lettering, like make letterheads, or copying businesses, or some people who make homemade goods. These are good for like Mimi's candles, um, Melanie's lip gloss, but she made homemade lipstick, and she might want to call it something special. Somebody who makes homemade soaps or something like that. I believe that these logos work really, really good for those type of businesses. To me, they kind of say, hey, I'm still more of a home-based brand, even though I'm growing, is what these logos say if I look at them. But if you have an Etsy store or anything like that, you have homemade goods, things that you take out and you really like to sell them to people at vending events and things like that. I believe that these logos are really nice, right? And then we see this. We see right here where we have Melanie right here. These logos right here, she has three different logos. They're all similar. This one also, three different logos. They're all similar. So in different products, she could use all three of these, or either one of them could use all three of these logos, and they still look the same. I still would know, hey, that's a Christian Miller design. Hey, that's a Melanie Jameson design, or whoever. That's a Madison Howard. I still would know it, even though they have three different designs, right? So I mean, I think if you have, I believe they're more for a home goods, homemade type of thing. But I mean, I like them. I think they're still cute logos. People see it all the time with these type of logos, right? So these are your watermark logos. Next, we have our pictorial marks, our brand mark, our logo symbols. These are where you see things like Target, Apple, Twitter, right? Think of them just as a simple symbol, right? Not necessarily like we saw KFC and he had his face on there or something like that, but it's just a symbol and it stands for a brand, right? So most of these are made up of a graphic symbol, basically kind of like an icon. It represents a real world object, right? We're talking about something simple and straightforward. It's kind of like an outline of a tree, an outline of a coffee mug. This is right here where we see the apple symbol. It's an object to tell a story of what your company does, right? Think of YouTube's play button. You might think the play button of their company name when you see it. Brand marks are normally clean, cut, and easy to remember. If they offer a certain service, a specific service, an image represents this well. It brings it a clear message, right? It kind of really tones into your audience. We know when we see Apple, we know what Apple does, right? So it does to me take a little time for you to really go in and get people to know what you do. But once they know what you do, like Twitter, once we know that bird tweets, we like, oh, we know Twitter. Twitter is a bird that tweets, right? It's sending a message. So to me, it's sending a clear cut message. Twitter, tweet. What are we doing? Like a little bird, we're going out and we're sending a little message. Target. It's right on the spot. It's quick and easy to go in. To me, it's the target of what you want. So just bear in mind that if you're planning on expanding your product line, um, a few diverse objects or your logo may misrepresent what you do. So that's the thing about it. Most of these companies, they just do what they do. Twitter just does what it does. Apple just does what it does. We know when we go to Apple that we're going to get some kind of probably electronic technical device, right, from Apple. We're not going in to actually get an apple to eat. We know exactly what we're going in to do. So kind of think of it like that if you decide to go with a symbol like that. Next, we have our abstract logo marks, so which is a little different than what we talked about before. It's kind of the same thing, but let's talk about Pepsi. Abstract, but it is what it is. BP, abstract, but it is what it is. Adidas has a little combination of an abstract. Sometimes on the tennis shoe, we don't see the name Adidas, but we do see those three little leaves with the three lines in them, and we automatically know that's an Adidas tennis shoe, right? So abstract logos are conceptual. Think about the big picture of logos, like the brands of this Pepsi that we talk about, but it's tailor made to fit just your brand. It's specific for your brand and what it does, right? It expresses something specific about your brand, but it is out of the box. To me, it's saying my brand is going to be out of the box, right? There is room to play with these brands because of the logo designs. You can communicate your values or something about your brand that you'd like to emphasize. Because an abstract logo isn't restricted to a real world object or image, there is a lot of wiggle room to say what you want to say about your company, about what you do, particularly if your company does several distinct things as well as thought abstract watermarks may be perfect for you. So if you are out of the box thinking, hey, I might do a little of this, a little of this, go all over a little bit, especially when you start talking about commercials and things like that, you don't want to be stuck. You kind of think of your abstract watermarks. What to consider though? You'll want to make sure that you refine the logo design until you're sure you're conveying the intended message to the world. Uh, pay attention to the crucial details with that abstract logo design, right? You don't want to send the wrong message to anybody. You don't want them misconstructed or misconstrued about what you're trying to say about your logo because these are so vague, they can be hard to understand. And so to me, when you think about these logos, even like window and things like that, you're gonna have to be out really pumping that message about your brand and what your brand does, right? You're gonna have to get out there to the world and you're gonna have to pump your message until people really see your brand for what it is, until they get it kind of in their mind. Okay, I see this circle and I see these green, purple, and red lines with another circle in it, and this is what it means. So that's what you're gonna have to do if you want to go with an abstract logo. But I think it's pretty cool. Mascot logos. These are pretty cool. And one that we didn't think of, I think, is the Geico. The little Geico. I didn't put in my head. But Geico is just so cool to me. Like it represents the brand. It talks for you. You can get somebody to talk behind the scenes. If you're not an out front person, right? You can get a cartoonist or somebody to go on with a voiceover and become that person that you can't become. I just think mascot logos are the coolest. You like, look at that little peanut. We have Tony the Tiger. You know what I'm saying? We know when we hear Tony the Tiger, what's getting ready to happen. We're going to have breakfast. The Pillsbury Doughboy. I had to do it. You know what I'm saying? I just think about the commercial and they touch his little stomach and the Pillsbury Doughboy laughs, but we can think about dough and his little belly and the dough rising. So we already know we're going to have some good pastries when it's the Pillsbury Dough Man shows up. We have KFC. We know when the Colonel's in, it's an original recipe piece of chicken when the Colonel shows up, right? And then we have the old school Kool-Aid Man. Like most of these have transitioned over the test of time. I'm sure you can think of some cool mascot logos everywhere. They just like, okay, they don't have to show up. The mascot shows up for them. I believe that it's friendly, right? They said these are friendly logos, right? They bring you in. They actually convey a visual message. Like you can almost remember hearing how Tony the Tiger sounds or the Kool-Aid Man dancing around or especially the Pillsbury Doughboy, right? We know when these people show up what's going to happen. It kind of gives you a warm and fuzzy feeling. Um, I'm getting excited just kind of talking about these, especially when it comes to kid brands and like food and things like that. Different restaurants. I've seen McDonald's you all probably don't remember when McDonald's used to have a little clown and Jack in the Box used to have a clown. And like it just made kids happy. You know, they transitioned over because we started knowing the golden arches. They once we started knowing the golden arches, they didn't have to do so much. But at first they were pumping out and they had these mascots. You when you pop up, you knew what they were. And so I just think these transcend the test of time. I think they're cool. So but now, for every business, the mascot might not send the right message, right? So we have to really think about that. Like, what message are we trying to convey to the audience? But if you have a really cool product, especially if it's something that's kind of kid friendly or something like that, I think that a mascot logo is just the coolest thing in the world. So the combination mark. The combination mark logo is kind of like you think of Doritos, Burger King, lacrosse. It has actual lacrosse has an actual animal represented and it has the wording. Burger King has an abstract going on and it has the wording. Dorito has an abstract triangle going on, kind of like a little fire kind of thing going on with it, and it has the wording. So with the combination of logos, we just gonna think about how you combined two things, right? They combine the picture and they combine the words. So sometimes you might only see the picture on different logos, right? Lacrosse, I might see just the lacrosse. I might see just the alligator. Same thing with Polo. Polo is another brand. You might see the Polo man holding the little stick on the horse. You might also now they have a couple of other little Polo things. When you see them, we still know they Polo. Polo got their own bear now. Polo has I forgot what else it is. Polo has something else that's pretty cool. They have a little the little symbol, like the little crest. They have the crest, and we know the polo crest when it shows up. And then sometimes you just see the big word polo. Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren is another one, but we still know Ralph Lauren and polo and all those other symbols. When we see them, they've built a brand over the years where they can use different symbols and still show up in the world, right? So you don't have to be stuck with one thing. But a combination logo I think is cool. It gives you a couple of variations and things you can do with it. Let's talk about the emblem. Believe it or not, I love emblems, right? I love like Harvard emblem and all the different school emblems. I just think they're just so classic. I think they're just like they stand the test of time, is what I think. So we see Starbucks, they have an emblem. Stella Rosas have an emblem. Guess what? Superman. That's an emblem, like Superman on your chest. Then we have Harley Davidson, right? We think of these as regal, royal expressions, right? A traditional feel, right? These have like family crests. They stand the test of time. Think about governments, universities, and organizations like an organization with one of these cool emblems. I think is just the coolest thing in the world, right? So the advantages of emblems are they are memorable, right? They lend air of personalism to a traditionalism to a brand. You can still put words in there, you can still put your wording in there, but then you have that kind of crest feel, that kind of traditional feel that kind of draws people in. So you have flexibility still with these logos to put other wording in the logo to really kind of make them your own, right? You can do a lot with these logos. And these logos to me go around the world, like they stand the test of time. So if you're an organization or anything like that, I think you should really consider these logos. But as you see, Starbucks took it, Superman took it, Harley Davidson, they not a university or organization, but guess what? They use the emblem logo and it's working well for them. So the dynamic mark logos. These are the cool logos, right? These are the people who want to do a lot of out of the box things. When you think about these people, you think about imagination on explosive, if you ask me. It's different kind of branding, but it's different type of material. It's kind of an organic feel, right? So this is really a logo I think that's for creative. If you are creative and you are out of the box person, you're going to love these type of logos. Most of the time you kind of think of responsive web pages, mobile sites, blogs, digital media, some merchandise ads just kind of throw these in, right? They're powerful logos. People connect with them. People who are creative connect with these logos and they can change. Subsequently, they can go through changes. Nickelodeon, look at it. Nickelodeon. We have the word Nickelodeon and you have Nick, but you kind of know that orange. So with them, they stuck within the same color when you see them show up. But you still know them, even though it's abstract and they throw something different at you. a lot of different times. We still, for some reason, we know them when they show up. AOL does a lot of different things, right? We're not kind of as familiar with AOL, but AOL did a lot of different things, and all they would see is that capital A, the O, the L, and the dot, and then they would just be doing different stuff. It's a really simple AOL and a dot to me, but for them it worked. But Nickelodeon, what they did, the kids love it. Like Nickelodeon is out of the box, and if you are out of the box thinker and you are creative and you have your company is just getting ready just to explode with personality, then a dynamic mark logo. And that's one people don't talk about. So this was originally 8 types of logos. But the dynamic logo, I thought about it and I'm like, that's something that we can talk about because somebody out here just might want to do that. So it's something to think about. So what all can you use your logos on? I think this is what when we think of a logo, we're thinking small, right? We're thinking one thing. So you get a logo, and a logo is for your business. It's not just for your business. Logos, you can get a specialized logo just for your book cover, for the name of your book cover, right? You can get logos made for that. When you get a box kit or a subscription kit and things like that, logos go on those. Cups and branded materials. So let's say in my shop, I have some like cups and branded materials in one of my shop. Those are logos. I have to send over, or either I make it myself or I'll send over to a logo guy and I say, hey, I need this as in a logo form, words with transparent backgrounds or whatever with transparent backgrounds, right? I need these to be in. It's gonna come in what's called a logo, really a logo format. If you're making your design in Canva or something like that, you're gonna go over and you're really gonna be making almost like a logo, and then you're gonna push it and put transparent behind it, and it's gonna come out, and that's what you're gonna use on your cups, branded materials, t-shirts, apparels, all of that. Most things that you think about, what you're getting ready to put on them in print is a logo form. So think about your book cover as in saying, hey, I made my book cover myself, but for personality, I'm gonna send over and get a graphics guy to make this bad logo just to put on this book, right? That logo is not necessarily your brand. That logo is about your book, right? It's the title of your book and it's in a logo. Think about even your name. So you have other things like um, you have your regular logo, but you might sometimes just have, I have my name actually in a scripted logo, like the Wordmark logo. And so I had my name made like that. And so it's a logo that I can always put on with my name, just my name. I also had a logo made, like I get tired of putting www.theglamcoach.com, this, tag me at this. So I have a logo made and it has my all my info stacked up in a logo form. So I don't have to type that out all the time. I just go in, click the transparent form, put it on, tap the little logo on, shrink it to size wherever I want it to fit on my graphic or the paper, and there it is in a logo. So I want you to think outside of the box about logos, and logos can save you some time when you get them made in that form, right? So I'm still thinking of those as logos is what you can get those made at because I get them made with logo makers or I make it myself in Canva. So logo prices. DIY free. You can get free logos. They have free logo makers all over. You can download apps on your phone, on the computer. They have free logo makers. The DIY logo maker is all the way there. Places like Canva. Canva, you can make some really nice logos, clean logos in Canva, right? They have a free version. Canva, Canvia. So think about Canva and think about logos. Really cool. You have $7 for Fiverr. It's about $7 and up if you go on Fiverr. They make some really nice logos. It used to be $5, but now they charge a fee, so it's about 7 or 7.50 and up. You can get you a graphic design on Fiverr. It's a lot of different outsourcers like that that you can get you a pretty nice graphic logo made for pretty cheap, right? And your next thing will be your graphic designer, your full blown out graphic designer, right? You pay more, but sometimes you just get those out of the box logos. So kind of think about it. So here we go. So 8 types of logos, where to make your own logos. Canva, PicMonkey, Luca. I haven't used Luca. I know somebody who has. I haven't used it. Logo Maker apps. I have used the Logo Maker app before to just like make a little logo for something. That was through Apple. Free Logo Design is another one. They have logos on there. Creative Market templates. They have logos in Creative Market. And Logo Lab has logo, and also Etsy. Etsy, yes, Etsy. Etsy has people on there that can make you a logo. So just kind of think outside of the box when it comes to logos. And I'm gonna say you can make a logo anywhere from free to DIY, you know. And some people they just want to pay $500 or $1,000 for the logo. It's up to you, right? So think outside of the box. Think about what you can do with logos. Because I think logos are very important for a lot of reasons. So that's why I came up with this video today for you guys. Now, what I want to do is I want to thank you guys for checking in, just listening to the 8 types of logos. I really hope you learned something today that can help you launch in business. I'm tired of the excuses. I don't want to hear that I don't have any money to get started. At least go in and do you that DIY logo. Go in and spend $7.50 on Fiverr to get you a logo, right? Made. Get you a logo. Like it's not that hard. Get you something that really represents your business, represents your brand. Even some people want to go in t-shirt business and they say, I don't know how to do this. What do I do? You can go right there. DIY, Canva, PigMonkey, Fiverr, get the logo made. Not that much. Go in and we'll talk about later about places where you can put those logos and make you some money. But right now we want you to go in and really practice, really try. I want you to have a logo for your brand, right? If you really love this, guys, I want you to follow me, right? Follow me, especially on IG. Follow me on IG because I follow you back. We're at S Pelton-Sam and at Vision Board Boutique. Make sure you throw some likes up, guys. If you're watching this and you like it, give me some love. Throw some likes up. Follow me on Facebook, on S Pelton-Sam or at the GLAM Coach on Facebook. And make sure you join us in Vision Board 365 online group, right? It goes down in Vision Board 365 online group where we help you launch in life, but mostly in business. This is your girl, Sonia Pelton-Sam, the Glam Coach. You know, if you want to work with me, all you got to do is call 1-844-888-4526, 1-844-888-4526. Inbox me if you need to. Drop it below. Say, hey, I want to work with you. I will get back with you. Right now, I'm doing some special things. You need to get with me. We're doing, when I do one-on-one, I'm doing one-on-one and we're actually completing work. So I'm not just coaching you and talking you through the process. I'm actually coaching you and we're finishing work. We're actually having virtual work days right now with my coaching sessions. So when you leave, it's well worth it. You'll come out with what you needed. So have a great day. Bye.